Hey everyone, just a quick video talking about some news that somewhat impacts Star Wars lore development, especially with Legends. A while ago, I did a video when the Starhawk and Onager were announced and shown with the designs that they got from Fantasy Flight Games for the Armada tabletop game. And I talked a bit in that video about how the tabletop RPGs that Fantasy Flight Games makes were actually one of the best places we have to get Star Wars Legends lore, because a lot of what they're doing either takes place in one, the other, or both. So a lot of the new content they developed was really the best way to get new ships in Legends or new background information for Legends. And a lot of lore in Star Wars, especially coming into the 90s, was impacted very heavily by Star Wars tabletop RPG games. The initial ones based on like D20 systems from West End Games and Wizard of the Coast, but also now with Fantasy Flight Games, where we've been even upcoming. There's supposed to be another source book coming out for, I believe, I'm not sure which group of it. There's like Edge of the Empire, Forces of Destiny, Age of Rebellion. So they have a lot of subgroups for Fantasy Flight Games, but these are the original RPG source books that came out from Wizard of the Coast and West End Games actually factored really heavily into a lot of the choices that early Star Wars books made, like Timothy Zahn pulled a lot of information from them. The X-Wing series had a lot of information pulled from them. So these have always been a very core part of what makes it into Star Wars lore and what becomes important or not. So even if you're not a tabletop role-playing game person yourself, and you do engage with the Legends or even canon continuity in some way, then you've probably been exposed to a fair amount of RPG content without even really noticing. But unfortunately, FFG has announced a bunch of layoffs. The main one that they announced were essentially shutting the entire Fantasy Flight Interactive section of the company, which to my understanding is mostly about the digital content that they produce. I believe there's a Lord of the Rings game that was being produced under that. But there's also been reports of significant layoffs of their RPG department. So a lot of the designers that worked on the tabletop games. So I don't think they've made an official announcement. I've been looking for as much information as I can get on this. But I thought it was important to just bring up on the channel. I hope all the people who are affected by the layoffs are able to transition easily without too much disruption of their lives. So definitely, that's a situation a lot of us have been in. So I'm sure we all sympathize with that experience for them. But also from a Star Wars perspective, if this is just to say that this is stuff that when it does come up, if it's something you're even tangentially related or interested in, they're good things to check out. If it's something, if there's a way you can support that content coming out, it is one of the best ways to get new information added to the Star Wars universe, or even just looking at the source books for that kind of background information. But yeah, so again, we're going to have more lore videos coming out in the week, including some that are based pretty heavily off some RPG information from the past. But yeah, so I'm not sure what exactly the future of Star Wars tabletop RPGs will look like. I do hope there is one. It's something like I play a good amount of tabletop stuff on my other gaming channel, Corey Loses. I do a bi-weekly series of Star Wars tabletop RPGs using the system that Fantasy Flight Games produced. And they don't just do Star Wars tabletop stuff. They do their system, the Genesis system, can be used to apply to pretty much any setting. But then they do have like the Star Wars specific version of it and some other rule sets. So something that I greatly enjoy. I hope that they are able to continue with it in some capacity. Again, they haven't made any official announcements as to what that section of the company is going to look like. A former employee was posting on Reddit saying that, and that this is just speculation from them, that they expect it to be more freelance work that goes into the RPG side of things rather than having it be an internal part of the company. But we'll see what that ultimately ends up shaking out as. This is something that I intend to follow relatively closely myself, so if there's any major changes to what's going on with that, I might do a follow-up video if it's something you guys would be interested in hearing more about. So thanks for watching. Again, condolences to the people who are affected by the layoffs. Hope that you're able to have a smooth transition, like I said. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.